This is the OnePlus 6, and this is part 2 of the 2-part video series where I talk about why I hate and why I love the OnePlus 6. So it's kind of like a pros and con video where I talk about the pros and the cons. Obviously, that's what pros and con videos mean. So this is the video where I talk about the pros, what I like about this phone, why I love it, and honestly, there's a lot of good things about this phone, but to be very frank with you guys, it was very hard coming up with a list for both why I love and why I hate this phone because honestly, there's just not much to talk about. You know, it's a good phone, but it's not memorable. I don't feel like anybody's going to be remembering the OnePlus 6 2 years from now because it really didn't bring too much to the table. It's just a very good update, but not a very memorable phone. So, you know, just let's leave that to the side, but it is a good phone. So let me talk about why I love the OnePlus 6. Number one, the design. So one of my biggest gripes with the previous two generations of the 5 and 5T was that they were blatant copies of the iPhone 7 Plus. I mean, why would you do that? It was OnePlus had its own identity all that time, and then suddenly they copied Apple, and I was like, why? Why do you have to do that? I mean, your designs were really good. It's not like you were struggling, so why did you copy Apple? And then it just really bugged me. I even talked about it a lot, and I was so happy to see that OnePlus redesigned their phone this year, and it's very unique, it's individual. It doesn't look like a copy of anything else. It is its own phone, which I really like, and the design is really cool. It's got the curved glass, it's got a really neat look. The carbon flash finish I have with the special edition Avengers phone, even nicer. And overall, I think that they did a good job designing this phone and making it look good. And I like it. I'm very happy they finally went back to having their own identity and not being a copy of something else. Number two, dark mode. So OnePlus is still, I think, one of the only companies that gives you a actual dark mode throughout most of the UI, with a lot of the apps and all the system apps following suit with a black theme. I mean, Google has a dark mode, but it's really limited to like just 1 or 2 areas, and it doesn't even, I don't even think it's worth calling it a dark mode at that point. This is a lot more consistent. You get entire apps that follow suit. The system apps are all in dark mode. You get a lot of other key features that are changed because of the dark mode, and I really like it. You can make your own accent colors pop up, which will give you a really customized look without having to go, without having to customize it too much, which I really like about the OnePlus 6. And I'm really happy they have this dark mode, and I really hope that Google and everybody else takes note and makes dark mode a lot more standard throughout the UI. Number 3, the alert slider. So I still love the alert slider. One thing that I swear by with my iPhone is the dedicated ringer switch. So whenever I'm in a hurry and I want to mute my phone, I can do it just with that button, and I really like it. And I'm so glad that at least one Android phone has that feature. The OnePlus has had this from the beginning. The alert slider is extremely useful. You can quickly toggle it on or off. You know when it's on, and I really like that you have that, because otherwise putting your phone on silent involves a lot of navigating through the UI or going through shortcuts, and it's just not quick. I mean, if you want to quickly put it on silent, it's so much more useful to have this dedicated button. Number 4, the front camera. So the front camera on this phone is pretty good. I mean, I was surprised. It's one of the best front cameras I've seen in a while. I mean, the colors are okay. They're not the world's best, but the clarity and the way it really gets everything into focus, and just overall, I think this is one of the nicer front cameras out there. Obviously, it doesn't match Google with the portrait mode and all that wonderful stuff, but I think as just a quick camera, I've had some of my best selfies come out with OnePlus cameras. Even the 5T had a really good one. The 6 follows suit as well with some really good front photos and results. Number 5. Now, this is the thing I love the most about the OnePlus 6, and I think that it's a very important note to take because everybody's adopting the notches. The way that the notch is adapted onto the OnePlus 6 is amazing because, one, it's a very, it's a short notch, so it's not that long. It's almost perfectly sized to fit the icon, so you have a perfect place for your icons to go. It doesn't extend too much. And on top of that, what OnePlus does is, in most cases, it blacks out the bar for you, and it just gives you this space. So you have a permanent place for those icons to live without interfering into your content. Otherwise, even with videos on YouTube, what it does is, I really like this feature. It takes the screen all the way up, but does not include the notches. So it kind of cuts off the notches and you just get video without that. And honestly, that is the best thing they could have done. I think that everybody should do that and not include the notch into the video because it will cut out information, but this, it doesn't, and I really like that about it. So just, you know, overall, the notch on the OnePlus 6 is probably the most well-implemented notch on a smartphone right now, and that includes Apple. You know, Apple did a very decent job as well, but it's just the notch on that is pretty wide. The notch on this is narrow and it's thin, which really comes into play where they've made it look very, you know, it's not that intrusive. And I know that there's still a chin here. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but the way they've implemented it, honestly, I wanted to complain a lot about it in the beginning, but once I used the phone, I couldn't because it was just done so well. Number 6, I think everybody expects this at this point. This phone is a beast when it comes to performance. The Note 9, if you guys haven't watched Phone Buff's video where he compares the speed test of this to the Note 9, a phone that is twice the price, and this phone still beats it, and it's amazing. It's got a great chipset, it's got great optimization, and this is truly, it's amazing to see that, you know, a phone priced so low can beat a smartphone that came out 4 months later that costs twice as much. So performance never disappoints on this phone. I've never had a single lag. I've never had, you know, apps close or crash on me, and overall, very good phone. And I think that OnePlus has always been good with this. They've had performance as their #1 focus, and they've never disappointed in that aspect, and they don't disappoint with the OnePlus 6 either. Number 7, the multiple biometric authentication method. So you got both Face ID, Face Unlock, whatever you want to call it, and you got the fingerprint reader on the back as well. So having both of these I find extremely useful because, I mean, in some situations it's easier just to unlock with your face, some situations it's easier to unlock with your finger, and I like that there's an option to use both. With Face ID, you know, there's a lot of times where I can't use it. Maybe I'm in bed, maybe my face is, you know, just not in the right lighting, whatever it is. There's situations where you can't just unlock with your face all the time. And then there's situations where fingerprint isn't that easy either. And it's awesome to have that option where you can use either one. And it really does help improve the overall just usability. It's easy, and it's easy to set up, it's easy to unlock. And honestly, I feel like everybody should kind of have multiple options. Samsung has it. Samsung has 3. They have face, iris, and the fingerprint scanning. And I mean, this still has 2 methods, which is pretty good for the price it's at. And honestly, I really like it. It's something that, you know, really does secure your phone more. I mean, honestly, the face unlock on this, I understand, is not the most secure thing, but still pretty cool to have that feature. So that wraps it up, guys. Those are the 7 reasons why I love the OnePlus 6. Now, let me know what you guys think about the OnePlus 6. I know a lot of you guys have it, and I know a lot of people who swear by it. They love their OnePlus 6, but what do you think? Are these the reasons why you love your phone? Are there some different reasons why you love it? Let me know down in the comments below. So if you haven't already, guys, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content on the OnePlus 6 and about tech in general. I will definitely be covering the 6T launch and review when it comes out later. And if you haven't already, please feel free to follow me on social media as well. I have all the links down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. I'll catch you in the next one.